Hello everybody and welcome back to Full House Sports here, myself Charlie. A reminder before the video starts to please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try to become a one-man sports news bandwagon. Now, Sunday sees the culmination of the T20 World Cup where hosts India are going to take on the Black Caps, New Zealand in the final. I'm really excited about this final. Now, if anyone watched my semi-final preview, you will know that I predicted South Africa versus England in the final. So, as you can probably tell from who the finalists are, I got it completely wrong. But I did say the caveat at the end of that video, in my defence, that I thought either of the four, any of the four, could win it. It was just one of those. It was those semi-final situations where you didn't know. And the two semi-finals provided drama and excellence in many different aspects. I think for India, England, that felt like it should have been the final, to be honest with you. What a game. India hitted 253. England were expensive at the death, and I think that's maybe what cost them in this situation, because if you contrast that with Jasprit Bumrah, who, for me, is probably one of the best death bowlers certainly I've seen in my lifetime. I mean, there's not many who I can think of who are better. In terms of just Yorkers being on point and on point, you know, you could give him a total to defend. I think the bloke could probably defend one run off 6 balls. Just I know that's an exaggeration, but genuinely so on the mark with it. And contrast that with Jofra Archer, who's expensive at the death for England, and you see maybe where the cracks were. But it feels unfair to criticise England because they gave it such a good go. Jacob Bethel was outstanding with a bat. The game was taken away. Sanju Samson. I see people online slagging Harry Brook off, but someone else could have got those runs. I think it's just one of those games. It had everything, and unfortunately for me as an England fan, we came out the wrong side of it. But what a game! Contrast that with New Zealand's semi-final win over South Africa, and that was about as one-sided as it gets. Finn Allen 100 off 33 balls. What an innings that was! Just clubbing away. Just brutal bat is the only word. You know, if you're going to go for it, go for it. It reminded me, ironically enough, of there was that 2015 World Cup in Australia and New Zealand when Brendan McCullum opened for New Zealand, and he just did that. He just went hard at everything. And sometimes it came off. I mean, it came off, I think I remember, it came off against England in the groups, and it was destructive. Sometimes it didn't. But Alan clearly went out there with the mindset of, I'm going to go hard at everything. And he did. He threw his hands at everything. And there was a couple of times where he got away with it, but also it was just brutal. South Africa's bowling let them down a bit, I think it's fair to say. I was disappointed again with South Africa. I thought this, with the way they performed through the tournament, beating New Zealand as well in the group stage right early on, you thought this is their tournament to lose, really. But again, there's something about them. They're literally the complete opposite to their rugby team, the Springboks, because they just can't get over the line. It's bizarre, really. I don't know what can be done to solve it. But anyways, final takes place on Sunday, India versus New Zealand. Not a lie, my heart, not going on an India hate watch, but I would like New Zealand to do it, purely because the generation from the 2019 World Cup is slowly fading away. There's still a few of them left, but I would just love them to win something, New Zealand, because it feels like they are the nearly men of many an ICC tournament. They're always towards the end because they're so professional in their performances. They bat, they bowl, they field superbly. They do all three facets of the game well. Have they got the superstars of, let's say, an India or an England? Probably not, or in Australia, for example. They haven't got those players. But what they do have is a tremendous... I think they handle situations, they manage situations really well, and they seem to have a real confidence in their ability and a confidence in each other, which is lovely to see. So I would like them to win. I think the important thing for them is going to be, whatever happens first, they don't give themselves a mountain to climb against the host, because that crowd is going to be fervent. It's going to be a sea of blue in the stadium. The India fans are going to be right on their back. We saw it in the last 50 over World Cup final in 2023. You know, Australia, when they got Kohli, it just killed the stadium. It completely killed the mood. And all of a sudden, you had this home crowd with just silence. And that's what New Zealand have got to do on Sunday. You know, whether that be they go out and bat and set a big total, you know, Allen and Cypher and Ravindra go hard at it early and get a big total. Don't give your wicket away, but try and handle the situation well, get a big total on the board, give the host something to worry about as they chase the game. Or if you're bowling, don't do what England did and give yourselves a mountain to climb. You know, try and restrict India, try and get wickets at important times. Listen, They know all this. They don't need me to tell them this. But I just think, looking at the game, previewing the game, it's so important for New Zealand they don't give themselves that mountain to climb in that first innings. Because what you don't want is coming off that pitch. If you've been bowling and you've got 250 to chase, you might as well give them the trophy there, India. I just don't see New Zealand chasing that down. Listen, people say they would have chased 250 on Wednesday when they played South Africa, but it's different. It's different kettle of fish against India, against the hosts, especially with Bumrah bowling at the death. That's the other thing as well. You know, their death bowler with Arshdeep and Bumrah, and Hardik as well deserves credit. Is pretty bang on. You know, so you gotta give yourselves a chance. My head says India will win this game. They're the hosts. They've had a stuttering tournament, it's fair to say. There's been a few blips in it. But listen, in front of a home crowd, you're a silly man to bet against India in India. That's the fun. Everyone who watches cricket for years has known that. You're silly to back against India. But New Zealand will fancy it. And also, they won't mind being the underdogs. They've been the underdogs before. They won't mind that. They'll just play their cricket. They'll play their shots. They'll make sure they're on it in the field because they're always... For me, they're the best fielding side in the world. If any team... The fielding... If I think about fielding, them and Australia are the two countries that straight away come to my mind. So they've just got to do that. But it'll be very interesting. Pressure on some of the Indian players as well. I think Abhishek Sharma is under a lot of pressure. His tournament has been iffy, to say the least, with the bat. So, like I say, early wickets, and you could see an interesting atmosphere build. But we'll have to wait and see. The blueprint's there for New Zealand. They just have to look over the Tasman at what Australia did in 2023. That's the blueprint for me. But it's carried out that'll be the issue. As always, guys, let us know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try to become a one-man sports news bandwagon. As always, have a great day.